All right, people, here we go. You can see we're right here on the Mount of Olives. And we know coming up very soon, in a matter of days, they're going to do an animal sacrifice up on the Mount of Olives. I'm going to pan around a little bit so you can see the area. We're not all the way at the top. That's a tourist area. So many people. But we're going to tell you some astonishing things in this video. We're going to show you vivid detail of how the prophecy is being fulfilled. Okay? Now, if you haven't watched it, we have clearly understood that Pope Francis and the Imam of Morocco signed a decree, signed a document. We found the characteristics of that to be very, very similar, many of them identical to that which we see the Sanhedrin has drafted for the 70 nations. So we're here on the Mount of Olives, and it is here they're going to offer an animal. Okay? Now what we can see, what they're doing is in Isaiah chapter 9, is in Isaiah chapter 10. Woe to those that decree unrighteous decrees. We're going to see that both of them, the Sanhedrin and the false prophet, who is Pope Francis, are clearly detailed in Isaiah and Revelation. Now, hopefully you guys have followed this channel and you followed all the prophecies we've been talking about being fulfilled, right? Okay, we got the beast, we got the 42 months, and that has started. Okay, we've shown you as well that these decrees, okay, the nations are going to come up right up here on the Mount of Olives and sign this decree as the 70 nations with the Sanhedrin. Okay, hopefully you've followed all this. It's right here today is the Israeli elections, okay? And the Israeli elections taking place, we're going to see what happens, okay, with who, if Netanyahu gets in again, if he is able to form a government this time. We're going to watch all these things. Now, as all these things transpire, we're going to see the things transpiring in Jerusalem, okay? Here's the Dome of the Rock, and it is here on the Mount of Olives that they're organizing something called the 70 Nations. Hopefully you know what that is, okay? Because we've talked about this so much. Now, those 70 nations are to build a third temple, okay? Yes, we know that there's things going on. We're going to watch, guys. The prophecy is happening so live, but it said they will be sealed until the times of the end, okay? So it is now that they're transpiring, that they're happening right before our eyes, the things that we've been watching for, and they're happening, and the scriptures are now coming to life. And that's what we're going to show you in this video, all the scriptures that come to life. Woe to those that decree unrighteous decrees. Isaiah 10. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed or written. Okay? Woe. Let's remember that. Now, to understand what this is referring to, who are these ones? Decree. Okay? Unrighteous decrees that are writing grievousness. Okay? This is Isaiah 10. We can see that throughout this, it's giving us some key words to understand this prophecy. Now, let's go to Revelation chapter 8 and look at verse 13. Here it is right in front of you. Verse 13 is right here. And it says, Behold, I heard an angel or an eagle flying through the middle of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe. Okay, let's keep our mind on that word. Woe. Okay? So we have woes, 3 woes. Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. And then the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him it was given of the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke. Okay, let's remember these. Smoke. As the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened. Okay, so we have the sun darkened. Okay, we got to pay close attention to these words. The sun were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Then there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them it was given as scorpions of the earth have their power. Now the scorpions have their power in their sting, and we can see that in verse 5. And it was given them that they should not kill, but that they should be tormented 5 months. Their torment was the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. So it's a sting. Okay, when he strikes a man of a scorpion. Okay. And in those days men shall seek death, and shall not find it, and desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Now let's look at the description of the locusts. The shapes of the locusts were like horses prepared unto battle. Upon their what? Heads. Okay? Let's remember the heads. And let me move the camera. Okay, on their heads were crowns like gold, and their faces were faces of men. And they had hair like a woman, and their teeth were the teeth of a lion. And they had breastplates, as if they were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was the sound of chariots, and many horses running to battle. And they had tails, right? Okay, so we saw the heads, and then it says tails. These descriptions are very important for us to remember. Okay, woe, smoke, the sun is darkened, there's stings, heads, tails, and they had tails like a scorpion, and there were stings in their tails, and they have power to hurt men 5 months. Now, let's go back to Isaiah chapter 9. We were reading Isaiah chapter 10, which you can see right here. That's Isaiah chapter 10. And then here we have Isaiah chapter 9. And let's look at some of these words. Verse 14. Therefore, the Lord will cut off from the house of Israel the head and the tail. Okay? So let's remember our important words. Heads, tails. And the ancient and honorable, he is the head. Okay, so the head is the elder. Okay, or we can say Sanhedrin. Okay, so that's who the head is. The ancient and the honorable, he is the head. The prophet that teaches lies, he's the tail. Okay, so the prophet we know to be in Revelation the false prophet, right? Okay, so he is the tail. So we have heads, we have tails, and the description of who these mysteries are in Revelation are described right here in Isaiah chapter 9. So these are the leaders. For the leaders of the people cause them to error, and they lead them. They that lead them are destroyed. Okay, so therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer. Okay, so their mouth is lies. Okay. And then, for wickedness burns. Okay, remember before we had a furnace.
For wickedness burns as a fire. It shall devour the briars and the thorns. What's the briars? What's the thorns? Okay, it's the sting. So we had the sting, but here we know them to be briars and thorns. Okay, so we have the sting of these locusts that we saw. The briars and the thorns shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. They shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. They shall mount up like lifting up of smoke, guys. So what happened in Revelation? We had the smoke of the furnace rise up. And then it says, and through the wrath of Yahweh, Lord of hosts, is the land darkened. Remember before we saw the sun darkened by reason of the smoke. Okay, so this is clearly telling us about what's taking place in Revelation. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts, the land was darkened, and the people shall be fuel to the fire, and no man shall spare his brother. Okay, so clearly in this prophecy, this is telling us about the event in Revelation chapter 9. Now we have other indications of that here because we have Manasseh, we have Ephraim, we have Judah. Okay, so Ephraim is described as the 6th trumpet. But the events that we're reading here are the 5th trumpet. But remember what we saw. Whoa! In Revelation, the angel said, whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay? Well, now we got these people. We got these heads, these elders. We have the Sanhedrin. Okay, it's telling us exactly who that's the heads. And the tails, that's the false prophet. So it's giving us the interpretation of what the symbolism we see in Revelation and what they are. Okay? But notice what it says. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So clearly, they have documents, okay, describing what? World peace. And clearly, from this information, we can see that they are not separate, but they are one in their unrighteous decrees. Okay, and they're getting the nations, they're getting the people to buy in their unrighteous decrees. And so we have the Sanhedrin, we have the Pope, who is the false prophet of Revelation, clearly seen and described here in Isaiah chapter 9 and chapter 10.
Okay, so there we can clearly see that the 5th trumpet characteristics are clearly detailed. The smoke, the woe, the head, the tail. Okay, we can clearly see that in Isaiah chapter 9, Isaiah chapter 10. Okay, so now is the knowledge being unsealed for what Isaiah is talking about. Now you can see here is the Dome of the Rock. Now down below here, okay, is the city of David. Okay, and let's remember all of this is taking place to get the 70 nations to build a third temple for the Jews. Okay, and of course, we're watching. We expect something on what they call the fortress, okay? The temple fortress. Now, if you don't understand a lot of these details, I'm going to put links in the description field. It's so important that you catch up on everything. You catch up on what the Sanhedrin is doing right here on the Mount of Olives, okay? That's right here. They're going to sacrifice an animal, okay? It's important you keep up with what the beast is doing, what Donald Trump is doing, okay? He is also the Assyrian. For time's sake, I'm not going to get into it, but he is the Assyrian, and he's doing the things that the Assyrian is described in Isaiah chapter 10. So guys, please, what is the 70 nations? What is the 7 Noahide laws, okay? Those are the decrees of unrighteous decrees, okay? These are the unrighteous decrees that the scripture is talking about. It's talking about the head, it's talking about the elders, it's talking about the tail, it's talking about the prophet, okay? So all these things are being fulfilled, and we have to watch, okay? We have to watch. This stuff is taking place here. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please, this information you have to get out. You have to share this. This is really important. You can share it yourself. You can study it. You can share it yourself, or you can share this video, guys. We always knew there would be a one world religion. We always knew that. We had in our minds that, yes, the Jews and the Vatican are the same beast. They would form a religion, and we would combine that with the Muslims, right? Well, now we have the proof of it. Now we have the evidence of it. And not only that, we have more than the evidence. We have the scriptures being fulfilled. So thanks for watching. As we always conclude, watch and pray that you be accounted worthy to escape all these things and stand before the Son of Man.